Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Alyssa here. I hope you're all doing well out there. I am in rare form, as you can see. I am on the internet, the public Beyonce's internet, with no makeup on, but that's purposeful because today's video is going to be about how I do my show makeup. Now, of course, it's going to vary depending on what show you're doing, but this video is just going to be like a base show look, ultra dramatic eyes, and of course a glamorous red lip. And I'm going to show you exactly what I do for pretty much every show. It doesn't really deviate too much unless, like I said, it's a specific time period or specific look that they want for the show. But in general, I always do this face, and if you want to kind of see how I do it, please stay tuned. So I start off with a clean face, and I usually put a little bit of moisturizer on before I start. I've got to get my hair out of my face, of course. Got to have a lot of space to work with. So what I'll do first is I definitely prime my face every time I put makeup on. I'm using the Hourglass primer. It's my absolute favorite brand. It helps to keep your makeup from creasing and cracking, and when you're on stage, you're definitely going to be sweating, so you're going to have some slick, oily skin, so it's really important to use a primer, in my opinion. Before you do anything else, definitely use a primer. Then I go ahead with my concealer. I use the Studio Skin Flawless by Smashbox. I'll go ahead and put that on my dark circles and under my eyes and just any dark spots that I have on my face. And then I go ahead and just blend that in with either a small brush like this, or I can sometimes use a blender ball, one of those round blending sponges. That works the same, but I really like the flat brush like this that I use for my concealer, and I just go ahead and blend that in to where it looks smooth. Next, I'll go ahead with my foundation. I'm using Cover FX, and I'll link all of the products that I use in the description box, just so you can see kind of what I'm using. And I absolutely love this brand because it's great for your skin. It's like made with really great high quality ingredients. So and I'm really big on using good quality skincare and makeup because I have pretty sensitive skin, so that's worth spending the extra money on. So I just go ahead and blend that out to kind of cover up, give myself a good full coverage base with my foundation. And next, I really love these Fenty concealers that I bought from Sephora. And what I usually do is I go ahead and I add my contour. Now, this is obviously stage makeup, so your contour is going to be like 5 times more dramatic than your regular contour that you would do in your daily life. So keep in mind that when you do your makeup for the stage, you're going to have a little bit more of a dramatic look. Now I go ahead and blend my contour out, just so it looks pretty natural on the contours and the angles of my face. As you can see, I have very high cheekbones naturally, so I just go ahead and accentuate those and make them look a little bit more dramatic using the dark colored concealer for my contour. And since this is stage makeup, the next thing I do is I go ahead and use the lighter, super light colored concealer to use as a base for my highlight. So if contour is accentuating the angles and the depths of your face, the highlight is definitely going to bring out the higher, more prominent points of your face. So what I do as a base for that is I use the concealer and I just blend it out with that brush that I just used. Next, I do my blush. I use a super pretty pink color from Tarte, and I love it. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to do my blush because my cheekbones are kind of out there, so I always feel like I'm doing too much. But then again, I mean, from the stage, you definitely want to look a little more dramatic because you don't want to look washed out. You don't want to just be a blob. Now up next, I love this part because I love doing my eyes. So what I do is I take a little bit of that concealer from Cover FX, and it's quite thick, so I use it pretty much for a base for my eyeshadow instead of using primer. I like that it's like opaque and like almost white. I love that because as you can see, I have a hooded eye crease, and I'll leave a link. If you don't know about hooded eye crease, you definitely should learn because you might have it as well. But basically what that means is I don't really have a eye socket. As you can see from my side profile, my eyelids are quite flat and they don't really go in like where my brow bone is. So what I have to do is I use highlighter and concealer rather, to create the illusion that I have a lot of depth in my eyes, even though I don't. So what I do is I use that concealer to define my eyebrows and my brow bone and my eyelids, and it also gives me a really good base from which to start my eyeshadow. So next I'll take a setting powder. I'm using Cover FX, of course, and once again all the products will be listed in the description box. And I go ahead and set those highlighted spots that I put the light colored concealer on. I go ahead and set those with the light colored setting powder, and that way everything is just set. And as a rule of thumb, you do your liquid and then your powder. So like my concealer, my foundation, that was all liquid and cream, and then you go on top of it with your powder, like setting powder and eyeshadow and whatnot. Speaking of eyeshadow, I'm using the Morphe palette, and I only use, as you can see, like 3 of those colors because only one of them is gone. Um, so I use a nice brown to create the depth illusion in my eye socket. And so I just go ahead and put that in my eye socket there, and I try really hard to make it darker towards the eyelid and lighter, blend a little bit lighter up towards the brow bone, as you can see. And you don't want to make a mess, so sometimes I use a little piece of tissue there so it doesn't spill eyeshadow all over my face after I was done setting it. And then I'll go ahead and take the eyeshadow brush and get a sort of neutral tan color, and I will blend that up towards the eyebrow. And as you saw before, I put that very white concealer on my brow bone, and using that sort of tan color kind of helps to sort of soften it up just a little bit and blend that whole thing together to give you a really natural look. And I know that for me, oh yeah, I'm putting this kind of nice gold color towards my eyebrow as well because it kind of just gives it a nice little glitter. Um, But for me, like I was saying, I can't really do a smoky eye because I already have small eyes to begin with. So doing this eyeshadow look is really, really good for my eyes, for people with the style of eye that I have. And as you can see, it's a little uneven, but hey, you get the idea. I'm trying my best to blend it out so both eyes look exactly the same, even though they may not right now. It's hot, y'all. I'm sorry. I live in the desert. Sweating. Now, earlier I said I use really good, really expensive products for my face. But when it comes to my eyebrow pencils, eyeliners, and things like that, my go-to is pretty much NYX, because when you work as much as I do and perform as much as I do, you go through a lot of it. So it doesn't really make sense to spend $25, $28 on eyeliner and eyebrow pencil because it would just rack up so much because it doesn't really make a huge difference in my opinion. So I go ahead and use this brow pencil to darken my eyebrows and sort of fill them in and give them a nice shape. And remember, for stage makeup, you can always make them darker if you want to. You can always lean more on the darker side, whereas during your normal day makeup, you definitely don't want to do that with your eyebrows, because eyebrows are it's a very thin line. No pun intended. It's a very thin line between like having nicely defined brows and having really overly done eyebrows. You gotta strike a very delicate balance when it comes to eyebrows. So you do have a little bit more leeway when you're doing stage makeup, because your eyebrows it'll actually benefit you if your eyebrows look a little darker from the stage, because it defines your eyes a lot better. So at this point, I'm pretty much done with my face. All there is left to do is my eyeshadow. So what I do is I go ahead with the setting powder, and I use this Fenty Beauty brand, and I'll go ahead with my big brush and I'll just put a little bit of setting powder all over my face, being careful not to overdo it, because we just did all of that great dynamic coloring of our face. We don't want to smudge it, but yeah, just putting a setting powder really helps to set your look. Like I said, liquid first, powder second. So this is really funny, but I actually looked at like 3 or 4 YouTube videos to figure out how to do eyeliner properly for the hooded eye crease. Now, for show makeup, the eyeliner for me is like my favorite part, because you get to be really, really dramatic with it, more so than your average everyday eyeliner. I use NYX, of course, or the Kat Von D tattoo liner that I just got, which I really, really like, but it's kind of hard to take off. So the NYX is really, really good, because it's a little cheaper, so you can it comes off easier. But like I said, I like to make a really dramatic wingtip. And if you mess up, no worries. Honestly, the stage is the place to have an even more bigger, better, dramatic wingtip eyeliner. And as you can see, I'm doing mine just to the outer tip of my eyebrow, and you'll kind of see how it comes out in the end. So I want to have a little bit more drama on my eyeshadow. So what I'll do is I'll take the really dark brown and I'll put it just in the crease, or the imagined crease of my eye socket. I know I keep saying eye socket, which is really weird, but it's the best way to describe it, just to make your eyes look bigger than they are. So I'll put that just right in the corner, careful not to blend it too far up, because we don't want to mess up that great gradation blend that we spent so long making happen. Ooh, so my other favorite part, the glitter. Of course, NYX is a great brand. They do this great glitter eyeliner, and I love the way glitter looks. Now that I've started using it, I can't go back. Now there's nothing else I can do for my eyes. I have to use glitter. So I just put that on there, careful not to use too much, but just enough. And I keep my eyes pretty low, because if I open them, yeah, small eye problems. When I open them, the glitter will get all over my eyes. So I try to keep my eyes low and not open them fully until my eyelids are dry, because this liner takes, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds to dry fully. And then, of course, I use lashes, but I have to prep my real eyelashes before I put my false lashes on by using a little bit of mascara. And you guessed the brand, NYX, of course. They're worth the wait. Mascara is really, really good. I have extremely short eyelashes, so it doesn't really matter what brand I use, but I really love their products, so of course. Now, another favorite thing I love to do is put on my lashes. It's time for lashes. See, I don't know if you can kind of notice, I open my eyes too much and I smear my glitter. So for the sake of this video, I'm using these lashes. They're a little gunky, but yeah, I just pulled the glue off. That's gross. But yeah, stage lashes are allowed to be big and super dramatic, and not like your average everyday look. So I'm using these really thick, beautiful lashes that I got from NYX, of course. They have such good prices there, so I get a lot, and I go through so many lashes that it doesn't make sense to spend a ton of money. And I do reuse my lashes quite a bit, so I definitely get my money's worth. I use the Black Duo eyelash glue. That's all I ever use, and it works for me. Black eyelash glue it's clutch. So make sure that your lashes get tacky by blowing on them a little bit before you put them on. That'll help them grip a little bit easier. And I've been wearing these for the past couple weeks, so I've broken them in pretty nicely. They attach to my eyes pretty easily. Alright, lashes are on. My camera died before I could show you my lipstick. But I use Ruby Woo and Viva Glam on my lips. I kind of combine them. Ruby Woo is pretty much like the quintessential go-to red lip for every performer. Ask any dancer, any singer, any stage performer. Ruby Woo is pretty much the go-to. It's just so bright, so opaque. Looks good on every skin tone. It's like the red lip that everyone uses. So what I do is I use Ruby Woo first, and then I use that Viva Glam on top to give it a little bit of depth because I am brown, so I do like to have a little bit of a darker red lip. And what I do is I use NYX in the color Vintage lip liner, and I use that to kind of line my lips and give it some dimension. And what I did before I put that lipstick on, what I'm showing you now, is I put a little bit of the lighter color concealer on my lips before I put my lipstick on so that it kind of makes my lips pop a little bit. And yeah, layer that a couple times, smudge, and yeah, looks really, really awesome. I love this red color. So last but not least, I put a little bit of highlighter on my cheekbones. I love this Elevation palette that my best friend got for me. And I use, yeah, wow. Yeah, so I use the little angle brush to lightly dust. A little goes a long way, but I lightly dust my highlighter on my nose and cheeks. And to top it all off, you do a setting spray. I used to use the Urban Decay, but now I use Cover FX because I love that brand. Couple sprays on there, and voila, you're good. Hey, yeah. Okay, everyone, so that's about it. This is my show makeup look, and I really hope you liked this video. If you did, go ahead and thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what other videos you would want to see from me. Also, disclaimer, I am not a professional makeup artist. This is just how I do my makeup, and I wanted to share a couple of the things that I do with you, in case you needed some ideas for the makeup that you do for your show, or preparing for future shows. So again, comment what you like, what you didn't like, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye!